That part of Rostrevor, which overlooks Carlingford Lough, is my idea of Narnia. So said C.S. Lewis, the author of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe and the other Narnian stories, for whom Rostrevor was a truly magical place. "I have seen landscape," he wrote, "notably in the Mourne Mountains and southwards, which under a particular light made me feel that at any moment a giant might raise his head over the next ridge." It's little wonder that the spell-binding beauty of the area, coupled with its many connections to Irish mythology, should provide the inspiration for those famous children's books. And who knows what part the Cloughmore stone might have played in his rich imagination. Hurled by the mighty warrior of Irish mythology, Finn MacCool, from across the loch, the stone slayed the fearsome Rostrevor, the giant of ice and winter. Finn himself was so exhausted by his efforts that he lay down and died, his gigantic outline forming the contours of Slieve Foy. "More beautiful than the Bay of Naples," said George Bernard Shaw of this loch that separates the Cooley and Mourne mountain ranges. "Were such a bay lying upon English shores," the 19th century novelist Thackeray said, "it would be a world's wonder." For James Joyce and Ulysses, Rostrevor was a tip-top destination. From here, halfway up Slieve Martin, first of the Mournes, you can also see across the loch to that heartland of Irish mythology, the great mountain at the centre of South Armagh's ancient Ring of Gullion, Slieve Gullion itself. Between loch and mountain, the Rostrevor area hosts some of Ireland's finest leisure pursuits, from sailing and water skiing to world-class mountain biking and wonderful walking trails and festivals. And the village has not just inspired Narnia. Visible even from here is a giant monument to General Robert Ross, the man whose actions helped create the American national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. For centuries, as part of the territory of the McGuinness clan, this place was once known as Cashlan Rory, or Rory's Castle. The name Rostrevor is believed to refer to the wife of a 17th century owner of the land the village stands on, Rostrevor. Kilbrony, the village of the Church of St. Brona, reflects Rostrevor's connection to the dawn of Irish Christianity. So it is fitting that the first new Benedictine monastery in the north of Ireland for 800 years should have recently been built here in the valley that bears her name. St. Brona, an abbess and disciple of St. Patrick, founded a religious settlement here in what is now Kilbrony Old Graveyard. Amidst the ruins of a 12th century church built on the site of her convent is a tall high cross from the 9th century, which was probably used as a teaching cross. St. Brona is believed to be buried here. People still come to this holy well associated with St. Brona, seeking cures for throat and eye ailments. And who knows, perhaps the friendly giant from The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was inspired by a local man, Patrick Murphy. Believed to be over 8 foot tall and the tallest man in the world when he died, the amiable giant Murphy would light his pipe from the village street lamp to amuse the local children. Judge his height for yourself, for the granite cross above his grave is exactly the same size as himself. According to legend, a local chieftain, Fergus, presented a bell to St. Brona in atonement for a rival that he had killed. For hundreds of years after St. Brona's convent became a ruin and the bell had long disappeared, there was a ghostly ringing sound heard during stormy weather. The mystery was solved in 1839 after the night of the big wind, a hurricane which terrorised Ireland, it was discovered that the bell, St. Brona's bell, had been hidden in a large tree that was blown down that night. Dated to the early 9th century, the bell can now be seen in the Star of the Sea Catholic Church in the village. According to local folklore, if you pray to Brona and ring the bell 3 times, your prayer will be answered. Here in what was once Barrack Green, one of Rostrevor's most enduring heroes is said to have been flogged nearly to death. Tom Dunn was a hedge school teacher who taught local children secretly when the repressive 18th century penal laws forbade Catholic schools to exist. His barn was used by the United Irishmen, revolutionaries who fought for liberty and independence from England. After the barn was raided, Tom Dunn was brutally flogged but refused to reveal the identity of his comrades. He later died from his injuries. The Tom Dunn Society was formed in the village in 1992 to commemorate his life each summer. Since 1987, along with the rest of the Sands family, I am very proud to be associated with the village's world-famous folk festival. The Ceilidh in the Square is one of the highlights of Rostrevor's annual Fiddler's Green Festival in July. Over the years, some of the greatest names in Irish music have performed here, from the Dubliners, Clancy Brothers and Tommy Macon, Mary Black, the Dannon, Sharna Shannon, the Chieftains, so many. The festival takes its name from this clearing in the ancient oak forest outside the village. This is a traditional start of the festival and typifies one of its strengths, that local and visiting artists are one with the audience. People from all over the world return here every year to enjoy a week of concerts by major artists, Ceilidhs in the Square, lunchtime folk clubs, art exhibitions, literary pub tours, guided walks of the countryside, and the famous nightly sessions in the atmospheric bars and clubs of the village. Rostrevor is known as a Ceilidh village, where sessions of folk and traditional music, as well as live music of all kinds, take place in the bars throughout the year, drawing on the unique musical talent of the area. Neighbouring Warrenpoint, around the corner, also hosts Blues in the Bay, one of Europe's top blues festivals, where Van Morrison and many others have often played. Rostrevor is a magical place in many ways. Hardly surprising then that part of the village is inhabited by folk from another realm. The Fairy Glen takes its name from the Brunies, according to local legend a particularly mischievous, some would say downright rude group of fairies. Don't say you haven't been warned. In the Fairy Glen and around Kilboney Park, Rostrevor's connection with C.S. Lewis is now celebrated with the Narnian Trail, a series of installations that will provide hours of fun for families of all ages and host lots of special events related to the famous children's stories throughout the whole year. Rostrevor's unique charm has provided the background for several films, including Philomena, whose lead actress Judi Dench has relatives in the village. Also shot here was How About You, based on a short story by Maeve Binchy, one of several celebrated writers, musicians and artists who came to live in this very special village. It starred Oscar winners Vanessa Redgrave and Brenda Fricker. With the arrival of the railways in the 19th century, beautiful Rostrevor, renowned for its mild climate, became one of the most popular tourist resorts in Ireland. A horse-drawn tram took visitors from the station at Warrenpoint to the terminus here. Across the road stood the magnificent Great Northern Hotel, whose many famous guests included C.S. Lewis, Glenn Miller and the Queen of Tonga, while there were many other fine hotels in the village also. On this site, a huge roller skating rink once attracted great crowds. Percy French, who wrote The Mountains of Mourne, performed here. Nearly all Rostrevor's charming Georgian, Victorian and Edwardian architecture remains today, giving the village its unique charm and appeal. In the final years of the Second World War, these skies once hummed with the drone of aircraft coming and going as hundreds of American planes flew in and out of Greencastle Airdrome just up the road. With the 5th Infantry Division also billeted in local villages and towns, many thousands of American soldiers and airmen became a welcome part of the local population, going on to play a vital role in the D-Day landings that turned the fortunes of the war. Their arduous training program was based around the lakes, hills and moorlands of the Mournes. Tragically, several aircraft crashed in the area too, with the loss of many aircrew, while many perished, indeed, on the beaches of Normandy. They are not forgotten. As the Normandy landings approached, Generals Patton and Eisenhower inspected US servicemen in Greencastle, while locals recall General Patton here in the village square, exhorting his men to give their all. In recognition of their contribution, he arranged a dance with a very special band leader at the Great Northern Hotel, the legendary Glenn Miller. Although their time here was brief, the American airmen and soldiers made a big impression, not least on several local brides who returned to the US with them. One of the most beautiful of its kind in Europe, Kilbrony Park leads up to a forest park, the ancient oak forest, and eventually to Slieve Martin itself. Wherever you go, you'll find idyllic places to walk, cycle and ride on horseback, and further up, superb hiking terrain with spectacular views. These grounds once belonged to the Lyon family, cousins of the Queen Mother, who brought the Queen and her sister here on holiday. The Lyon estate was taken over by Newry and Mourne District Council in the 1970s and later opened as Kilbrony Park for all to enjoy. Today, the park's abundance of attractions offers a great day out for everyone in the family, including a playground, tennis courts, outdoor gym, barbecue and picnic area, and a popular cafe. The caravan and camping site caters for 52 touring vans and 30 tents and has full electrical hookup facilities, water, TV links and a toilet and amenity block. Laundry services are available at the park's reception. In 2013, the council opened the world-class Rostrevor mountain bike trails here. Created by Dafydd Davis, one of the world's leading designers of mountain bike trails, they offer Ireland's most exciting mountain biking and Ireland's most spectacular views. With a mouth-watering 27-kilometre red trail and a hair-raising 19-kilometre black trail, Rostrevor has already been voted best trails in Northern Ireland. The course also hosts hugely popular mountain bike events and festivals during the year. Facilities include bike hire, bike washing, and events building and transport to the trails. Between Mountain and Lough, the area has fantastic facilities for every kind of outdoor sport. Cruiser and dinghy sailings as well as powerboat racing are available at Carlingford Lough Yacht Club, making full use of the beautiful location on the shores of the Lough. That's just the start. Every summer the Lough is alive with all kinds of activities, including water skiing, banana boating, windsurfing, canoeing and lots more. With its atmospheric pubs and bars and enticing restaurants and cafes, Rostrevor is a great place to enjoy life to the full in one of the most beautiful and charming locations in all of Ireland. So why not linger longer and make the most of your visit to one of Europe's best kept secrets? The area is packed with great hotels, welcoming B&Bs and guest houses and charming self-catering cottages in sublimely beautiful locations. We hope to see you soon.